boys and girls. This is Miss Minnie. I'm going to start a series of stories about different legends or tales from different things that we that are connected to Christmas. So today I'm going to tell you the tale of the three trees. Okay, there was in a mountain, on the side of the mountain, there was this three trees, and they were out there, and the first tree said, because these were little trees, and they were thinking about how what they wanted to be when they grow up, and so the first one said, when I grow up, I want to be made into a chest, a treasure chest, where I will have gold and silver and all kinds of jewelry and golden coins and things like that. And that's what I want to be, one of those treasure chests. The second one says, nah, the second one said, want to be a big ship, because he was looking at the ocean, and says, I want to be and carry kings and queens and just, important people like that and carry them around the world. Well, the third one says, said the third one, I want to stay here and just grow tall, very tall. So when the people look at me and they have to look up at the very top of the top of my tree, and they will see, and they will look, and they will see the sky, and they will think of God. So they were just thinking like you do as children. You think of what you're going to do when you grow up. So they were, and they, the rain came down and the sunshine on them, and they kept on growing. And one day, as when they were big, three woodcutters came by. And the first one says, he looked at the number one tree, and he says, I can cut this tree, and I'll sell it to a carpenter, or I'll take it to a carpenter, and he can do something. So the number one tree, says, oh, a carpenter. He can make a nice treasure chest out of me. Oh, I'm so happy. And then the second cutter came up to the second tree. And he said, ooh, this tree, I can take it to the ship yards, and they can make a boat out of it. Oh, a boat. I'm going to be a ship. Oh, and I'm going to carry the kings and the queens. And he was all excited. So, and then the third woodcutter came, and the number three tree said, oh, he's going to cut me down, and I wanted to just grow and be very tall. But the woodcutter went ahead and says, I don't know what I can do with this tree, but I'm going to cut it down. It's a nice looking tree. And he cut it. And so they took him down to the town. And so all of a sudden, the number one tree that was taken to the carpenter started building. He cut it, and he started building, and he built a feed box to put it in a barn so that the animals could eat out of it. They put hay on it and some sawdust and lined it up with hay so that the animals could eat. And he said, well, I want it to be a treasure chest, but I guess this is what I'm going to have to be. Well, one night, there was a starry night, and a baby was born in the barn. And the mother of the baby laid the baby on that feeding box. And when the baby was put down, the feeding box, which was the first tree, remember? He said, this treasure came from heaven. It's a treasure. I am carrying a treasure. I do have a treasure in me. Wow. A treasure came from heaven, a tiny baby. Well, in the shipyard, they decided, nah, we don't need any more big ships. Let's just make a small fishing boat. So they made a fishing boat. Then the second tree was, golly, I'll never carry a king and queens and important people like that. But okay. Oh, one night, this man and all his friends, his 12 friends, came by and they got into the boat, and the boat was put into a lake, and they started, going around the lake fishing because they were going to try to fish, but the main guy that was with them fell asleep, and they, he fell asleep, and the other ones were awake, and all of a sudden, a big storm came. The wind started blowing, and the rain came down, and the boat was just going this way and that way, and so they woke up their big friend and says, "Do something! Look at the storm!" And he got up, and he stood, and he just held up his hand and says, "Let there be peace." The wind stopped, the rain stopped, and the boat kept floating. And then the boat said, hey, he is a king. He is the King of Kings. Wow, I am carrying the King of Kings, not just any king, but the King of Kings. He was all excited. And then the third one, well, they had cut the tree and made just some beams, just boards, and they had them there. And then some soldiers came, and they made a cross. Put one beam like this and another one like this, and then they had this man to carry that cross up a hill. And finally, when he got to the top of the hill, they nailed him to that cross that he had been carrying. And they nailed him, and he died. But on the third day, that man that had been put in a cross and had died came alive, and the cross and the third tree realized. He said, That is the Son of God who came to die for the whole world, because it says in John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he loved all the people of the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And he came and he died on that cross on the third tree, and he was excited because the Son of God had come to die so that everybody that believes that he is the Son of God and ask him to forgive them and ask him to come into their hearts and into their lives, they will go and live with him forever because he was the Son of God. So what do we have there, boys and girls? The first tree became a bed for a baby, who was baby Jesus, that was placed in that feeding box. And then the second tree carried the King of Kings, who was Jesus, as a man, and he made the wind stop and the rain to stop, because he is the King of Kings. And then the third tree had God's Son, Jesus, to die on that cross so that you and I can be forgiven of our sins and we can go and live with him forever. So, although the trees had, when they were little, they dreamed of doing big things, but God has a plan. And maybe you're dreaming of what you're going to be when you grow up. But God has a plan for you. So if you give your life to him, you ask him to come into your heart and into your life, and you grow up, and he has a plan, and you'll be able to serve him just like the three trees served God. So you will have something special to do for God. Okay? Remember, I pray for you and you pray for me, and you have a very Merry Christmas. God bless you.